On November 9, 2020, HNWI Private Limited Stephen Shui hosted an interview on the topic Why Farmland Investment? Real Assets in a Time of Uncertainty.
Welcome to our HNWI Wealth channel here. I am Stephen Shui. With a backdrop of the risk factor such as unsettling spike in the new cases of COVID-19, the partisan dispute over fiscal policy in the United States, and the potential continuous conflict between the United States and China, I would say the investment outlook as of now is still uncertain. And I'm glad to have our special guest with us, Mr. Simon Hopkins, the chairman of Milltrust Agricultural Investment, and he is ready to offer his take on the potential solution in farmland investment. Okay, welcome, Simon.
Good morning, Stephen. Good to see you again.
Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, so our audience will love to learn from you about what has been the financial impact of the COVID-19 on farmland investment so far.
Well, there are two aspects, Stephen. One is a greater focus on health, a greater focus on food chain integrity, and a greater focus on sourcing food from reliable production sources. The second aspect, and the negative aspect of COVID, is the restrictions on international travel that have slowed down flows of capital into these markets. The corollary to that is that we already have substantial on-the-ground operations in New Zealand and in Australia, which have been approved by the local regulators. And as a consequence, we've been in a position to grow our footprint in both Australia and New Zealand in a climate where many people have been precluded from investing. And this has been a very fertile period for our funds to deploy more capital.
That's good. From the perspective of portfolio construction, what is your insight about the impact of having a farmland investment in the investment portfolio?
Traditionally, people see real assets, of which farmland is an important component, as being inflation hedges. If you're concerned that we may see, with the huge amount of money that is being printed around the world to try to get us out of this COVID economic crisis, if you see long-term inflation being a risk, you need to be invested into assets which offer a hedge. You also need to be invested into assets which will continue to pay you cash. And the beauty of owning farmland is, come what may, you will be paid a reliable source of income year in, year out, of around 5% net of all fees.
That's pretty attractive, 5% per annum.
Stephen, that has been the return in terms of farmland income for a very long time, as shown by the slide. And here we have the returns from US farmland, which have been in the order of 4.35%, and our target return for our own farms. In fact, we never do a deal unless we are sure that we can secure and distribute a return of 5% from the leasehold income of letting our farms out to operators, is at least 5%. On the left-hand side, you can see farmland returns versus other assets over the course of the last almost 50 years, and the return has exceeded 10% per annum whereas the return on equities has been 6.8%. The return on long-term bonds has been 6.5%. Short-term T-bills have delivered around 5%.
Do we have other information regarding the expected performance of your farmland fund?
Now, farmland is not a short-term investment. We need to look at committing capital for a reasonable period of time, and I would say that a sensible time frame would be 5 years. So a total return per annum over that 5-year period could reasonably be expected to be in the order of the long-term returns of over 10%. And I think in this climate, given the solid, tangible nature of a farmland investment, this is a very attractive return.
Thank you, Simon, for sharing so much knowledge and information with us.
And don't forget, we must all continue to eat. And that is the basic message behind investing into farmland. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.
Sure. Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you like our content, make sure you subscribe, like, and share our channel. For any inquiry, contact us at www.hnwi.com.sg/contact-us/. This content is for accredited investors as defined by the Securities and Futures Act of Singapore. This content is provided for informational purposes only. It should not be taken as advice. Please refer to our website at www.hnwi.com.sg/terms-and-conditions for the full legal disclaimer.